Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Nikki here, and seeing today is the very last day of Junk Journal July, and I have finished one of the projects I was working on during the month. I thought I would give you a flip through of my coffee inspired junk journal. Now, I tried as much as possible to use junk, hence the cover. Not sort of the fanciest, flashiest thing, but I used the back page of a magazine to cut out the coffee cups, and all these little bits are from just a few of the coffee boxes that may have been consumed in this house. Now, I did use one of the few hard-covered books that I actually had here at home, stripped out the centre, and made some inserts which are now super chunky, and I just simply covered the book in an old piece of gold wrapping paper, trying to keep with the theme. I just added this charm which was from an old necklace that I never wore, so I tore it apart and made a nice little charm for it. So I will flip through and show you what I have been doing. Now, the first thing here, this was an old gift bag that I cut up and I've turned it into a little tuck spot. Also, an old envelope. I don't know why I had this envelope. No card to go with it, so I thought, right, in you're going. So that also makes another little tuck spot to put things in, and I've just used a little bit of washi tape on that. I have only got 2 signatures in here, even though it looks as though I've got about 25, but there's actually only 2. Both of them I used Planners Anonymous papers that I have had for a long time to make them. Then I actually coffee dyed a piece of white tulle that I had, and I just sewed on lots of little bits of bling because I like bling. The more sparkles, the merrier. Then I used the same coffee, and this is sort of like a creamy coloured canvas. I had a few strips of it left. I chopped it up and made a belly band. So I dripped coffee onto this to give it that effect. And then I used a stamp pad and a stamp to stamp on the coffee cups. Of course, I did add a little bit of glitter because I like glitter. And made a card out of a piece of scrap paper, and then added a few sheets of paper inside to make like a little notebook. This is a piece of normal exercise book paper that I coffee dyed myself. Just popped a few stamps across the top there. And here is one of the little doilies. You can purchase those in my shop with the little Starbucks sticker. Then, to keep with the theme of using junk, I had an old calendar, and I thought I would throw some of this in to add some pops of colour so that it's not all too brown. And I love this little "friendship is the most valuable gift one can give." Just love that little quote. So I just created a little envelope. I made a little journaling card out of, I think this was an envelope that I got from, oh, I've forgotten who they are, the people that I print my photos with. That was on their envelope, and a little piece of scrap paper from them. This was actually from a magazine. I just cut it into a tab, so that makes a cute little journaling card. I used a stencil to add that green on there, and a little butterfly. Then on the reverse, oh no, what I need to tell you, when I made this journal and I bound it all together and glued it and sewed it into the book cover, I actually did one of my inserts upside down. And the annoying thing is, I had literally, the day before I did this, watched a YouTube video, I can't remember who it was, and she was saying, you know, be very careful, that you make sure they're done all the right way. Guess what? Somehow I thought I checked, but I didn't. So a lot of these have been probably a little bit more elaborately covered than I would have liked, but I couldn't stand upside down pages. So I added a lot more things than I might have, but it doesn't matter. So I had to add a bit of pink paint there to cover some of those upside down words. I made a pocket with a piece of vellum. This was some craft paper. No, this was coffee dyed paper that I simply stamped on, and I fussy cut out all the flowers, and I made a little journaling card. This was actually the back of a box of coffee pods that I had purchased, and to make a place to write. Luckily it was this beautiful brown colour inside, and to add some journaling space, this is a little trimmed off bit of coffee dyed paper that I made, and I just popped another one of the little flowers on top there just because it looks cute. Then this was a card from Planners Anonymous. It's like the intro card that comes with each of the kits. I've just stapled him on there, and that's a cute little belly band. Just hand drew some lines, stamped a coffee cup on there, little stamp there, another one of my coffee dyed flowers. Again, this is graph paper that I coffee dyed myself. I'm keeping in mind I've never coffee dyed before, so this was all very experimental, but I loved how they turned out. Now this here, this was actually a privacy envelope that I turned inside out, slit it all down the side, turned it inside out, and just used some magazine cuttings to sort of create the look of a garden. Popped a coffee table picture inside it, and this little puppy dog is looking inside to see if anyone's home to feed him some snacks. And I cut this out of a magazine too as a little piece of roof, just for fun. I love how that turned out. And then obviously the envelope was, you know, so long, so I just folded it over. I just glued down each side, and there's a little private tuck spot I can use. This was a large gold envelope, again, that I had. I stenciled with some, what's it called? It's dimensional paint. Can't remember which brand it was. I stamped that on to look like a doily and just popped a little bit of ephemera there, again from Planners Anonymous. And I glued on some pretty pink trim. Now, I used tiger glue for all of this. I was going to sew all these on, but I tried tiger glue and honestly worked perfectly. Saved me getting out the sewing machine for that one. So I've created a little tuck spot, and this is literally just from packaging of coffee pods. I've popped that on there for some deco. Again, this is one of those sheets I had to cover up my upside downedness, and I just glued down a heap of little scraps that I had, plus a space for journaling with a piece of coffee dyed paper. Then I had this leftover piece of scrapbook paper that I've turned into a tuck spot. I used the packaging from a Starbucks coffee pod pack to create a little band on it. And then this was a manila folder that I played with some coffee, a bit more coffee dye. And this is the actual flavour of this coffee. And I've just stuck that on there and made a little journaling card. Then this one here was another piece of coffee dyed paper that I made. And I've just created a little tuck spot there with a tiny little piece. Oh, I don't even know which kit that was from. It was one little leftover piece that I had. Glued on a little bit of rickrack to sort of make it look like a tag, but it's really just there to be a tuck spot to keep that closed. Then this one here, I used, again, it was a not quite full piece of paper that I had. I've done a little bit of layering, used a gorgeous piece of scrapbook paper there, added a tab, and there's a flip spot. And inside this is a piece, was out of a diary that I bought at a secondhand bookshop. So obviously the dates I didn't want, so I just covered them with some planner stickers so I can now write in whatever I like. And another piece of coffee dyed paper. I also made this coffee dyed paper with a glass and some coffee. This is a little paper clip. These are also in my shop. Oh, now with this one, I couldn't believe my luck. In a magazine I had the crossword puzzle and the, what do they call these things, you know, where you've got to find the words? They were the perfect size to fit in. So I thought I'd pop those in there just for fun. A little bit more coffee dyed paper in the center there. Then this is just a little tuck spot, piece of ephemera I got, and a bit of leftover little bits of cardstock. This is a collage I made using a brown paper bag. I have a video on my channel, which I just put up last week, about how I make these. This is just all lots of tiny little scraps stuck down, and all the coffee cups are from magazine clippings. Then I've got a lovely big journaling spot there to use. As you can see, look, it's upside down, but I love this picture so much. This was the only page I decided not to cover, even though it's upside down, but that's okay. We're just gonna leave that there. Then this was actually an ad in a magazine. It was on this graph style paper with the coffee cup, so I just cut it down to fit on there. This, even though it's upside down, because it's sideways, I'm leaving that blank. I will fill that up when I do some sort of journaling. Then I just, oh, now see, look, it's upside down. So we had to create something to cover that. This is just a piece of brown cardstock that I had left over that was not full. And I popped a sticky note on there and another sticky note on the other side. More coffee dyed paper. Then this one here, it was just blank. I've just created a cute tag, again using lots of little leftover scraps, and I actually just tied it on. So I can untie that to write on it, or I can just leave it as deco and write underneath. This was another ad in a magazine, and it's all about espresso martinis. It's sort of one of my favorite drinks, so I just had to pop that in there. And a little bit of cardstock on the back to hide the upside downness. Another ad, another little picture from a magazine, just a dash of washi tape, and that is the end of, oh, little tuck spot there made with a quote card from Planners Anonymous and some more gluing happening there. And then that is the end of the first signature. The second one is done the same way with Planners Anonymous paper. Then I had this envelope. This is a beautiful pearly pink envelope that was actually damaged in one corner. So I just chopped it in half, threw out the yucky bit, made a cup. These were just like printed on normal copy paper. So what I did, I just glued them to some lined paper to make them a little bit thicker and obviously somewhere to write. Made a couple of little journaling cards for that. Oops. And of course now they don't want to go back in. We'll get to that later. Then I've created, this was a large journaling card that I had already cut and used the other bit for something else. So I've turned that into a tuck spot, and I've got these cute little laminated coffee cups happening there. Kept that blank. I will do something with that when I actually use this journal. More coffee dyed paper. Then I just created a little journaling card with the front of a coffee pod pack, and then made a cute little flip tag here with a piece of vellum. And these are just two cute little cupcakes that I cut out of a serviette and just stuck them down with some Oohoo glue. This was out of that same diary that I used previously. I just cut out that cute little strip. That's lots of macarons. And then this is another flip that I created using a paper bag. This was a piece of paper towel that I had mopped up some coffee with when I was doing all the coffee dyeing things, and it dried absolutely beautifully. So I've stuck a bit on there. And then these are just literally, I've torn strips of scrapbooking paper, and this fabulous coffee cup was also from a magazine. There's a little bit more coffee dyed paper, and again, I've just for some fun, bit of deco, these are just little scraps of cardstock that I have added in there. Then this is another page from that calendar. Again, created a little journaling card and a pocket with some leftover embossed paper, and just stuck down some pretty flowers and a little bit of bling. Then on this side, again, this is packaging from coffee pods. I've just used that to create a cute little tuck spot. Then this is a tag that I cut out from a scrap, added the little quote card, and this gorgeous little table and chairs. Again, that was from Planners Anonymous, and I just popped it in with washi tape as a little flip. Kept that blank to use at a later date together with that as well. A little bit of gorgeous rose gold foiled washi tape happening there. And I've just made this tag with leftover scraps again, and some of that dimensional paint. This was a, oh, now where'd this one come from? I think that was from a magazine. I've just backed it onto a piece of coffee dyed paper. Then I used, this was another leftover envelope and a little piece of my manila folder that had been coffee splattered. And I sewed on a little bit of trim. This has again just been collaged with scraps of paper. This is a sticker that I had, I thought suited. And when you flip it over, I've just glued it down there and right across the top. And then used this little card that I had to create two little tags as journaling cards. This is actually a bag from Muffin Break. They make the best raspberry and white chocolate muffins. So when I go to my local shopping centre where there's a muffin break, I always have one of those with a coffee. And this little ribbon thing here was in that diary as well, so I cut it out and I've just clipped it in there for fun. And because we've got some purple tones happening, I thought that's the best spot for it. Then this was also an ad in a magazine for Italian coffee cups, including the cute puppy. So I've literally just created a tuck spot with some black cardstock, and I have stuck the ad onto a piece of white card and then onto the black just to give it some body. And there's the cute little puppy that was also part of that ad. And this is just, this was a little pack of cute papers that I had. I've stuck down a doily and the gorgeous little cupcake stand there just for deco. That's a little tuck spot now. A little flip, I should call that, with some washi tape. Left that blank. Just another little dash of washi tape, keeping a few pages untouched so I can use them later. This is another coffee dyed piece of canvas, and I've simply glued on a Starbucks sticker. And this is the very end page. I got these printouts, I think it was from someone on Etsy, but honestly it was so long ago I don't remember who. Another little scrap of fabric that's been glued down with some sequins and some pearls. And then at the back I created a little pocket with the manila folder, and inside I put lots of little packets, packaging packets from coffee pods, all sorts of different brands, and can use those as journaling cards or flip-ins, what do you call it? Tip-ins, that's them, when I'm actually using this down the track. And there we go. I have not done anything with the back yet. I may do that at one stage, haven't decided yet, but have a look how gorgeous this chunkiness is. It's so pretty, I love it. So I will be using that shortly. I hope you enjoyed this flip through. If you did, please hit the like button. And if you're not a subscriber, I would love it if you would become one. And I have lots more wonderful crafty things to share with you. Until then, until next time, stay safe, stay healthy. And I hope you all had some fun creating for Junk Journal July. Until next time, take care. Bye for now.